Hey guys, this is Clinton Jeff from UnleashThePhones.com, and here's a quick look at the HTC Windows Phone 8X. This is the first Windows Phone 8 device released on the market right now. As you can see, it's a very stylish looking device. It's very cool looking. It's not something that we've seen from HTC before compared to their industrial designs. This is very young and bright, flamboyant colored-ish. It is definitely complemented by the wide variety of colors that have been released along with this bluish purplish color, and at the front you have a very gorgeous 4.3-inch Super LCD2 720p display, which really does look quite nice. And underneath this you have a dual core processor and LTE 4G, which we couldn't test out over here at my side of the world, but it is quite beautiful looking. At first glance, some people might think that this does look like Nokia's Lumia phones, but I can assure you, when you first see it, it does look very, very different. It's quite a beautiful design. HTC really have done a very good job with this. The contour edges right here means that it fits very nicely in your hand, and it is very easy to hold because of the 4.3-inch screen, which is a little modest compared to what you get with other devices right now, but it's nice to have a device that you can properly hold in your hand and use nowadays. You can see the design is very clean and uniform all around, and there's a nice soft touch material right here, which means it's very grippy and doesn't slip out of your hand too much, and the build quality is also very durable. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about that 4.3-inch screen. It's a 720 by 1280 pixels resolution, which means it has one of the highest pixel densities on a screen. It has really nice PPI, so you can actually make out all that fine text right there, and you can't really make out each individual pixel, which was a problem on the WVGA resolution of Windows phones before it. The colors are very vibrant, and the viewing angles are also very nice, so you don't actually see much degradation in color. What you're seeing with the camera though might be a little bit different, but trust me, it's pretty good. Also, outdoor viewing is pretty good because this is an LCD after all. I'll just quickly give you a tour of the hardware. At the front you have the color-coded earpiece hole right there, which looks quite nice because it's the same color as whatever device you get it with. You also get it in a lime green, and that's what the color of the earpiece is in that model too. You also have a front-facing camera right there, which I'm going to show you is ultra wide angle, so it does look quite nice. I'm just gonna kind of show you right there. Hey, that's what I look like. So yeah, the ultra wide angle front-facing camera is something that I found very useful. At the bottom you have the usual Windows key buttons, which you can press back to go all the way back, or you can press and hold back to get to the multitasking view. Nothing much has changed in the multitasking view, unfortunately. You still have 8 apps right there. The start button gets you back to the start screen whenever, no matter which app you're in. And then there's the search button right there, which takes you to Bing search, so you can choose to search anything. You'll notice that there are some apps missing right there. This is region dependent for some weird reason. India is not in the Bing supported categories. I don't know. There's supposed to be a local scout and a music searcher, but it's not available over at my side of the world. Apart from that, you have nothing on this side of the 8X, but at this bottom right here you have a normal pinhole for a microphone, and the micro USB charging port, which is used to charge the device and can also connect to a computer for USB mass storage. On this side you have the dedicated 2-stage camera key and volume keys right there, and you have a tiny little slot for the micro SIM card. You're gonna need a pin to get that out. At the top you have the screen lock button, which locks the screen, and a standard 3.5mm audio jack. And yeah, that's about it. At the back you have the 8-megapixel camera with the single LED flash, the prominent HTC branding, and the little Beats Audio logo right there, and a couple of micro drilled holes right there which act as the speaker grill. The buttons are a little hard to press because you really have to find them. They are very uniform, but they are very flush with the back, so they are a little hard to find, but it's not too bad. Apart from that, you have a 1800 mAh battery powering the HTC 8X. It lasts about a day under moderate usage, so it's not too bad at all, which is a little impressive, I guess. There is no micro SD card slot, as you can see, but there is I think about 14-ish GB of user accessible memory on board, which should be good enough for more folks, I guess. Coming to Windows Phone 8, there's not much new if you've used a Windows Phone device before. There are resizable tiles now, so you can resize almost anything to a smaller tile or to a bigger tile if you want. The bigger the tile, the more information is displayed. The smaller the tile, the less information is displayed. For example, if I make this a tiny little tile right there, you'll just see a little 6 icon, and a big tile right there will show you more information. So yeah, it depends on what you want from each individual app. You can pin almost anything to the start screen, so it is a little useful. Not as great as a dedicated notification center, unfortunately, but Microsoft has said that they were working on it, I hope. Apart from that, there's a new thing called Kids Corner, which I have renamed to CJ's Corner, where you can give it to your child and they can just swipe the screen to get to a bunch of easily accessible apps right there. I have very few apps, as you can see, but it is a little bit used. The only way you can get back to the lock screen though is by pressing the lock button again, and your kids will have to, let me just press that again, enter a passcode to enter the main start screen. I haven't put a passcode, as you can see, but if you do, if you really are paranoid about your kids seeing your information or messing with your phone, there you go. There's also Bluetooth file transfer. I'm just gonna try and show you how it works. You're gonna have to turn on Bluetooth, otherwise the option will not show for you, which is a little bit annoying. Okay, so Bluetooth should be switched on right now, as you can see right there, and then you can go to the Photos hub, go to an album, and you can share any file just by hitting the share option right there, and you'll see Bluetooth listed right there. You also have tap to send, which is an NFC related feature where you can just tap the phone against any other NFC device. If it's supported, it will send it through NFC, and that's pretty cool. There's also USB file storage, so you can hook it up to a Mac or a PC and browse your Windows Phone like a normal device, I guess. Doesn't seem to work very well on my Mac though. You have to install the Windows Phone app on OS X to actually do much and sync your music and stuff. On a PC, I've heard it appears like a normal drive. I'm not too sure. Apart from that, there's also stuff with the lock screen. As you can see, the lock screen gives you a little bit of information right there, but you can also customize this to give you information for up to 5 apps. I know it's not too much, but you can throw in Facebook right there if you want, or something else. There's also a new feature called lock screen apps, where you can basically use Facebook as a lock screen, where it'll show you updates from your Facebook account, which I guess is useful, or you can use it to show you the latest football scores or something like that. I couldn't actually get many apps that worked with it, but there are some out there, I hope. Apart from that, I'm just going to quickly show you Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer is pretty okay. Personally, I wish Microsoft would rename it to something else, but hey, it works pretty okay. It loads up sites pretty fast. It's quite nice, and panning and zooming in and changing around is pretty fast as well, so no complaints as such. And as you noticed, you can basically pin anything to the start screen, so that's kind of nice. So yeah, performance isn't a slouch at all, because Windows Phone, it wasn't really an operating system that needed very powerful hardware. In this case, as you can see, everything works really fast. Even games load up pretty fast. For example, I'm just going to start up Angry Birds Space, and you will see that it starts up really fast. You have a dual-core 1.5 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Plus processor and 1 GB of RAM. So yeah, everything starts up pretty fast. It is lacking a couple apps though. That's something I did notice. So if you like Instagram, you will find that it is missing on this. There's also the issue of maps. Even though Bing Maps is now powered by Nokia's Navtec Maps, it did not find a couple important points of interest, sorry, which was a little strange. It also takes a while to load for some weird reason. But there you go. So yeah, maps isn't a very strong point of Windows Phone 8, which is something that I didn't think would be a problem. Maybe Microsoft is updating the backend, I'm not too sure. But Nokia has said that they will release their Nokia Drive app, which is their turn-by-turn voice navigation app, for all Windows Phone devices. So I don't think maps will be a big issue in the long run. It's just that it seems like Microsoft is working on a couple of backend stuff right now. It's also worth mentioning that there aren't as many HTC apps as there would be Windows Phone apps by Nokia. The HTC Hub, for example, is just a weather and stock and news aggregator and nothing much more. HTC also has a flashlight app and a couple others, but it's not much. So apps are lacking in comparison. For example, the YouTube app on Windows Phone, I don't think I have that installed, but the YouTube app actually just redirects to the mobile site, so it is a little useless. So hopefully Microsoft will work better on those small things, because the experience is quite nice right now as it is. Also, the music player is really nice. I really like the music player. I don't know what song to play for you right now, but yeah, the music player is really nice. If you live in a supported country, again, for some weird reason India isn't a supported country, but it will fill up the background with the album art, and it'll also show you the album art on the lock screen as well. And you can access your music controls at any time just by tapping the volume keys right there. So that is pretty cool. Apart from that, the speaker quality is really nice because it has Beats Audio built in. The loudspeaker isn't that great, but the 3.5mm audio jack can get really loud if you turn Beats Audio, and it makes you get some very punchy tones. I don't think Beats Audio is as great as on my HTC One X, but it is pretty good. I don't have the Nokia devices to test out their Dolby sound, but no complaints as such. It can get very loud. Coming to video, there's support for DivX and XVID video. I don't have much to show you right now, unfortunately. But you can play videos in DivX or XVID or MPEG-4 up to 1080p with no stutter or slowness, so that is very appreciated. The camera UI I just showed you is pretty much the same. Nothing much new as such. There's a new feature called lenses, where you can add more lenses. Right now the only app that supports it is Bing Vision though, but you will get more lenses that can do more stuff hopefully later on. You can record video at up to 1080p, but the camera app does not remember your settings, so that is a bit of an issue. Apart from that, it's the same camera UI, and camera quality is pretty average. It's not too great, but it's not too bad at all. There's no HDR mode and there's no burst mode, which is a bit of a disappointment. Apart from that, to round up, the call quality is actually pretty good. The loudspeaker is a bit soft, but calls coming in through the earpiece were actually pretty nice and loud, and folks on both ends of the call said that the calls were loud and clear and there was no distortion or background noise, so that was pretty good. To conclude, I guess there's a lot to like about the HTC 8X. It is a beautiful looking device. I think it's my favorite phone so far because it just looks so darn pretty. There's great hardware, great design, and the price is okay. It's a little extravagant maybe, but not too bad at all. But you really get a really impressive piece of machinery for that price. It is probably one of the best Windows phones out right now. I haven't played with the Lumia 920 long enough to judge, but in comparison with other rivals, I will agree that the HTC 8X does look a little bit lacking in terms of functionality, but that's all because of the operating system. Hopefully Windows Phone will be updated in terms of features very soon, but like lack of a notification center, for example, is a bit annoying, and a couple other things. Right now Windows Phone is lacking in terms of functionality with Android, and it's lacking in terms of number of apps with iOS, but Windows Phone is finally a very recommendable operating system. I think it's fixes almost all the issues that I have in Windows Phone 7. The HTC 8X is still a great phone. I think if you do get this phone, you probably will be very happy with it, provided you know the limitations of it first. But hey, if you want to know more about the HTC Windows Phone 8X, do check out our review. It's very detailed and it's over at unleashthephones.com. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section below.